Hello everyone, welcome to Clay Soldier Battle Tournament 2016. This video, we're not doing any fights, we're going to be going over some of the rules that we're going to be following for this tournament. And we're going to go over the arenas and what their functionalities are. So let's turn around and grab ourselves a copy of the rules. So here's the rules. So each team starts out with 8 soldiers. Whoever wins their fight gets to have double the amount of soldiers for the next fight. Now the soldiers they have are basic soldiers. They get all the upgrades that the team has. However, they can instead have 8 soldiers that they get as reinforcements become grunts instead. And the way that works is they have no armor, no stick. They do get a button so that they punch a little bit harder, but they don't have any of the upgrades of the team. And for I think my microphone just caught for a moment there. For doing so, they end up getting to get a random bonus upgrade that they get to carry on throughout the rest of the tournament. And after one battle, the grunts become regular soldiers like the rest and get all the team upgrades that they normally would get. Now, upgrades, they come in 3 different categories: melee, offhand, and general. Teams can make an exchange for any upgrade that uses up the same slot that they already have. So like, if a team has sharpened sticks and they get the bone club upgrade, they can exchange the sharpened stick upgrade for the bone club. They don't get to pick another upgrade in place of that. They just get what they choose. If they don't want to exchange for the random upgrade that they got, they can instead just have their grunts become regular soldiers again, foregoing any upgrades at all. So the melee upgrades are spears, which are the sharpened sticks, blaze rods, bone clubs, a grunt squad, which is 8 extra grunt soldiers. These grunt soldiers will never ever be upgraded. They will always be grunts. An iron core, a food upgrade, and padded armor. The food upgrade, all teams get watermelon slices. I'm thinking watermelon slices. I might go cookies, I don't know yet. But for now, I'm planning watermelon slices, and if they get the food upgrade, instead of watermelon slices, they can have cooked fish to bring into battle, which would give them a slight healing advantage over their opposing team. And if they get the food upgrade a second time, then they get steak instead of cooked fish. Oh yeah, I meant to change it. It's not supposed to be a ranged upgrade, it's supposed to be offhand. I don't know if I changed that last time in the last couple pages. Anyway, offhand, they can get gravel, sugarcane, which they can only get that upgrade if they already have a range type offhand attack. So any team that gets the sugarcane upgrade, they get to do a redraw. Fireballs, a shear dagger, quartz, emeralds, and shields. Now, if they get a second upgrade and they get emerald twice in a row, they get an emerald block instead of an emerald. Or if they get shield twice in a row, they get the iron studded shield instead of the regular shield. And onto the general upgrades, there is Mount, Blaze Powder, Poison Shroom, Redstone Dust, Sugar Boost, Slime Attack, and Cactus Core. Now, of course there is some compatibility issues. You can't have an Iron Core and a Cactus Core at the same time, so if you have one or the other, you have to redraw or exchange. Same with the Mount one. If you have the Mount and the Bone Club, you can the team can either redraw or they can exchange to have one or the other, or they can just say, screw it, we're going with are basic soldiers instead of grunts. Now, the blaze powder and the redstone dust, those are going to be upgradable ones. I'm planning on having it so that blaze powder and redstone dust, the blaze powder, 25% of the team will have if you get the first time, and if you get the second time, 50% of the team will have it. Redstone dust, it starts at 50% of the team, and if you get it the second time, it becomes 100% of the team. I think. No, actually no. We'll do 75% of the team. And that's off the total number, including the grunts, I think. No, that doesn't sound right. I think I was playing it differently. Just the basic soldiers, not the grunts. Because that'd give you way more redstone dust. Yeah. So, that is it for the upgrades. Let's move on to taking a peek at the arenas that they'll be fighting in. I've created 6 different arenas this time around, each with their own individual hazards. There's one which I haven't finished putting the hazards in yet. I will be getting to that after I record this video. It's the most basic arena that there is, though, so it's not too glorious a thing. And we'll actually start out with that one because it was the first one I made. So this is the Tranquil Courtyard. It is a very flat, simple, basic arena. In fact, most of the arenas are very flat. They don't have any elevation change at all this time around. In last year's tournament, I noticed that there were some problems with drastically different elevations and pathing. So, to make things simple this year, I'm keeping it pretty flat. Anyway, Tranquil Courtyard, it's got a pond in the middle which will cause major problems for cavalry type units. However, if they get a turtle upgrade for their mounts, then they'll have a pretty nice advantage here over any other cavalry type unit. I'm going to add some spike pits here and there around this arena, and that's going to be the hazard. Other than that, not much is going to be added to this one. Over here, we have the Forgotten Pharaoh. Full title is Desert of the Forgotten Pharaoh. I just call it Forgotten Pharaoh because it's a mouthful. A couple decorative things. There's a couple tiny cactuses which will do a bit of damage to the soldiers as they pass through. I'm trying not to breathe into my mic too much because I'm using a headset right now because I'm out in my living room, which is where my new computer's at, which is what I'm recording this on. Anyway, not too big a hazards on this one. It's got a little bit of elevation difference that they have to work around, but other than that, it's mainly decorative. I did have quicksand here before, but nah, quicksand was just a little bit too overpowered for the soldiers to handle. Now over here we have one of my favorite arenas because I actually use a couple command blocks on this one. This is the War-Torn Field, and it is named so because when I flip the lever, yep, there's an arrow rain that's going to be constantly falling in the arena. Now, the arrow rain doesn't do too much damage to the soldiers, and because it is completely random where it's going to hit, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed to hit any of the soldiers in an entire battle. It's got a good chance of doing so, but then again, it might not. Now, if you're wondering how I'm doing this, well, you probably saw on the mini-map, but there's a weird obstacle in the way. We have a spawner that gets spawned all the way up here, which spawns arrows, and the glass is here to keep any of the arrows that spawn outside of the arena from falling down onto us as we spectate. Keep our vision kind of clear. There, turn that off. So this one looks like it'll be a more entertaining one to see. Alright, Now, no peeking, no spoilers. Just look at the ground and away we go. So over here we have the foundry. Oh, I accidentally turned off my... There's supposed to be molten iron flowing down those for decorative purposes. So we have a couple rail carts traveling across these pathways, and the dispensers shooting fireballs are supposed to simulate like a bit of metal being spilled out over the edge of the rail carts. It's the best I could do. Not very random traps, but the length of the fire isn't consistent, so, you know, you might end up with people getting hurt, you might end up with people getting all the way through untouched by fire. A little bit of the random element is why I'm enjoying about that one. Moving on to this one, we have the Porcelain Museum. Got a few decorative porcelain jars and stuff. And you may notice how there's a couple pressure plates in the arena. I actually am going to go in here myself because it's best to demonstrate it myself. So these pressure plates, when they're stepped on by the soldiers, a wooden sword shoots out. It does 5 points of damage, so it is a pretty powerful trap. Pretty much brings a soldier down to 75% of their max health. Which is why I only have a few of them in this arena. I figured doing 5 points of damage is more than enough for any soldier to deal with. And then, last but not least, we have the Hellish Temple. This arena is probably the deadliest arena. It's also kind of the most random. Now you may notice there are 4 extra clay soldier Nexi in the area, and they're active, and they have blocks floating on them. The Nexi, I don't know if anyone who's watching this knows about this, but you can give the Nexi any of the ranged attacks that the clay soldiers can use. You can give the Nexi gravel, emeralds, snow, fireballs. All of that can be given to the Nexi. And the Nexi, when they're active, will shoot at any non-affiliated clay soldiers. Now, because the Nexi aren't affiliated with any soldiers at all, well, that kind of makes it so that the Nexi is going to attack any clay soldier team in the area. Now, because these ones have snowballs, they're not going to damage the soldiers, they're just going to make the soldiers move slower. And in this arena, well, if they're moving slow and they end up standing on one of these igniters that goes off randomly, it's not going to be a fun time for that soldier because they're going to be cooked slowly alive. Also, the Nexi in the middle has a snowball one as well. So between the random fires and the Nexi slowing down both teams to a crawl, you can expect a lot of damage to be dealt to each team, and for the battles to be over kind of quick. I'm going to be pretty interested to see what happens in this arena as we go on. Anyway, that's it for the arenas. I covered the rules, and we're going to do this kind of like last year. It's, again, 20 teams, because that's how many different types of soldiers there are. There's going to be qualifying rounds where teams will fight to see if they can actually get a guaranteed slot in the preliminaries, which will give us 10 guaranteed teams, and then there will be 6 more teams given special privilege of fighting again for our amusement. And those teams, even though they lost, they will still get the whole grunt bonus thing. Also, the teams aren't going to have any names off the bat this time. I'm going to have the names given to them kind of at random. Because the way it's going to go, each team is going to get a random item from the categories. So like pink team will get a ranged item and then offhand item, and it turns out being fireballs. So fireball pink, and that'd be the team name or something like that. I don't know. I'll think of a name associated with each item that ends up going to the team names. So that's it for this video. The Clay Soldier tournaments will begin pretty soon. I'm hoping by next week after this video goes up. So spread the word if you really enjoy this concept and you think others will as well. Share it on social media, write it in the Minecraft forums, put it in the Clay Soldiers mod forum on the Minecraft forums. Do whatever you think you feel like doing. So, hope you guys are looking forward to the tournament. I will see you within a week or so. Take care, and goodbye.